mission, and she's enjoying it. And just kind of watching us go crazy with supplies and just getting ready. But she knows she'll be taken care of. And I guess that's the nice thing. Parents can do that. But we are watching the latest and talking about it today. And we'll be talking about it tomorrow as we learn more about it. One thing we have learned, this thing is a killer storm. It's killed over 10 people so far. More bodies to be revealed in a lot of the islands here. Very, very sad. In Puerto Rico, people are dead. They're without power. A lot of the islands destroyed, literally. Vegetation, power lines. It's just, this thing's big, man. This is really, really big. Here's one of these stories where you say, you got to be kidding here. There's people that are really hoping that Hurricane Irma is going to take aim at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago, golf course. A spat of social media posts expressing hope that Hurricane Irma trashes President Trump's Palm Beach, Florida resort. But guess what? Producing a backlash of disgust and criticism. Oh, yeah, the so-called, as the media is putting it, winter White House, and that's what Donald Trump calls it, in Southwest Florida, where Trump has spent many weekends since his inauguration, looks that it could suffer some major damage if the Category 5 hurricane continues on its projected path. Now, Trump declared a state of emergency in Florida, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands. Tuesday night, Florida Governor Rick Scott said in a Facebook post that Irma is shaping up to be a bigger than Andrew, and it referenced the 1992 storm that killed dozens and caused hundreds of millions of dollars in damage. And like I said, Irma already blamed for over 10 deaths in the Caribbean, expected to cause millions or even billions of dollars in damage. And so anyway, with people wishing, hoping that his golf course, Mar-a-Lago, to be completely destroyed, they want Tropical Storm Jose, a more Hispanic-sounding name than Irma, to take aim at the estate. Imagine the poetic justice of a hurricane named Jose destroying Mar-a-Lago. Dear humans, please find shelter. I don't want any of you innocent, wonderful people to get hurt. Only wanted to destroy Mar-a-Lago. Isn't that nice? Only wanted to destroy. Dear humans. There's not human beings that actually work there. And FYI, just a little news flash, there's a lot of Hispanics that actually work at Mar-a-Lago. Did you know that? Jesus. Your jokes about Irma hitting Mar-a-Lago aren't cute or funny. People have lost everything, and more are about to. The number of people begging Hurricane Irma to wipe out Mar-a-Lago, and only Mar-a-Lago, is sickening. Thank you, Victor, for that. The number of people begging for Hurricane Irma to wipe out Mar-a-Lago, and only Mar-a-Lago, is sickening, and they should be embarrassed. Wherever Irma makes landfall in Florida, it will already battered one of Trump's other seaside properties, sitting on Plum Bay on the island of St. Martin, about 200 miles east of Puerto Rico in the Leeward Antilles, is an 11-bedroom home that Trump owns. The home, which Trump says he currently rents out, is up for sale for $16.9 million, a price reduced from $28 million, but could be worth much less after Irma passes through. Yeah, there's going to be people out here that are going to try to say a lot of things about it, just like that one nutty professor at USF here in Tampa, saying that Texas probably got what they deserve because they voted primarily for Donald Trump, and then, he hoped that Florida would be next. Isn't that cute? Wishing death and destruction where people have lost things already. People have already lost their lives already. And to wish calamity, that's just low. That's poor. But there's the lowest denominator of the of humanity. And unfortunately, there's people that, for whatever reason, have sat on their conscience or burned their conscience or made a pact with the devil or just ignore it, and they don't care. I think they're brain dead. I think there's something wrong with them. But they are, as a matter of fact, they are the real deplorables. But humanity's always been that way. There's always going to be low-class folks mentally that say these things, but man, they want to save their own family, but don't care about anybody else. I see that in traffic too, by the way. But either bring the worst out in people or the best. People cutting people off and honking at people, middle fingers. Tempers are short. You can understand people just wanting to get supplies and all that, but man, people are on edge. I'm seeing it all over Tampa Bay as I'm just going for the studio back home. Hillary Clinton made no secret of her disdain for James Comey, the handling of her email probe, but says in her forthcoming memoir that she regrets not going after him hard for the moment he announced the investigation's results. The former FBI director, just one of numerous figures whom Clinton implicates for playing a role in her 2016 election loss, though she also assumes some of the blame, according to the experts of what happened, obtained by the Daily Beast ahead of the book's September 12th release. So if you want to stand in line for it, September 12th, Clinton not only complains about Comey's decision to revisit the email case days before the election, but takes issue with his July 2016 statement concluding the probe. In that press event, Comey advised against criminal charges, but still called her use of private email server while Secretary of State extremely careless. So she goes into her book here, and this is Hillary. Oh, I'm not going to do a rendition of Hillary, but she says, "My first instinct was with my campaign should be hit back hard to explain to the public that Comey had badly overstepped his bounds. The same argument Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein would have made months after the election," Clinton writes, according to the excerpts, that might have blunted the political damage and made Comey think twice before breaking protocol. Again, a few months later, my team raised concerns with a kind of controversial approach. In the end, we decided it would be better to just let it go and try to move on. Looking back, that was a mistake. And she also reprised her criticism of Comey's October announcement regarding the discovery of new emails. Was this a bad joke, she writes, according to the excerpts? It had to be. The FBI wasn't the Federal Bureau of Investigations for innuendos. Its job was to find out the facts. What the hell was Comey doing? Comey did her a favor. What the heck is she talking about? Comey could have locked her up. She was, again, taking no responsibilities whatsoever for any of her actions, but blaming everybody else. That's the claim of her responsibility, that I should have gone after Comey? Are you just out of your mind? Are you going after Comey? Comey would have certainly locked your ass up. Is she just dumb? Well, I could have told you that. The book should be interesting. But there's a prelude of the stuff you'll hear from Hillary Rotten Clinton. She's still rotten, and still think there's people out there that will come to see her when she tours the country, where she's charging big VIP people $20,000, $30,000 to be right up front to see her and read with that haggy voice that she has. Sounds like the Wicked Witch. Out of her book. That's why she didn't get elected. She didn't communicate. She didn't communicate effectively. She didn't have a message, most of all. And that's the truth, because we listened to her. We listened to what she said. And then she unloaded on Trump supporters, and that just did her in. But she'll not admit that that was that. No. But we're the deplorables. If I'm still a deplorable and proud of it, if that's what it means to be a Trump supporter. This is a good thing. or is it a bad thing? What do you think about this? Trump's debt deal, you heard that he's working with the Dems, but it stuns the GOP as Congress moves forward for the vote. Yeah, that's the headline. Trump stuns Republican lawmakers with his abrupt decision to strike a deal with the Democrats for a short-term increase in the debt ceiling tied to Hurricane Harvey relief money. Though Congress nevertheless is moving quickly towards a vote that could come by the end of the week, the president made the deal during a White House meeting Wednesday, that was yesterday, with the top congressional leaders of both parties. House Speaker Paul Ryan of Wisconsin, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell had wanted a longer-term increase in the debt ceiling that would also cover hurricane relief funding. Instead, Trump sided with House Majority Leader Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer in agreeing to a 3-month deal that would both fund the government and raise the debt ceiling through mid-December attached to Harvey funds. Well, folks, maybe he's pulling out a play for Bill Clinton. Though Bill Clinton worked with the Republicans, but the Republicans are not getting the job done. I think it's brilliant politics on Donald Trump's part. Yeah, if we can't get it done with our own party, let's work with the Dems. And the Dems seized on the moment. So proud to be a part of this. You could see that Chuck Schumer took the opportunity and just liked it. He said, we like this bipartisan effort. We like that. I think it's great politics. We got something done. Good. And maybe it'll shame the Republicans into actually doing their jobs that they got paid and elected to do in the first place. I think it's great politics. I think it's total genius. Maybe they'll think twice. Will they learn, though? That's the big question. We'll see what happens. A source was telling Fox News that Republican leadership was blindsided by what happened. Fox News is told that the meeting had reached a point where the two sides were moving towards an agree-to-disagree position when Trump jumped in and agreed to the short-term deal. The source said it appeared Trump grew weary of the lack of back and forth and decided to strike an agreement to end it. The source with knowledge of the president's thinking was telling the Fox News channel that he wanted to come out of the meeting with the decks cleared so he could get Congress to focus on tax reform, his big legislative item that this fall, which he touted during a speech late Wednesday in North Dakota. By the way, if you listen to the North Dakota speech, it was really good. Still, McConnell had publicly committed to backing the plan and moving forward overnight. He doubled the Harvey measure by adding $7.4 billion in community development block grant fund to a House-passed $7.9 billion measuring, providing an emergency replenishment for disaster aid coffers. Well, folks, sometimes you have to work with the Dems, and I think it's great. Oh, who's thrilled about this? Check this out. Oklahoma Representative Tom Cole, though, called Trump's move, in some sense, a declaration of independence by the president. I was sort of thrilled, Cole told MSNBC's Morning Joe program. We don't need to run out of money in a week or 10 days in the middle of a natural disaster, Cole told MSNBC. There's all kinds of implications of what we did yesterday, but count me into saying I believe there's more of an upside than a downside. Folks, I count it as a big victory. And again, if it causes Republic, if you can't get it done with your own party, then let's reach out to the other one. That's great. Maybe that's a sign of things to come. Is it possible? Well, it depends on exactly. I mean, come on. I mean, we can't be the party to say that we're not going to be able to fund our government. They don't want to shut down. They want to help Harvey, Irma. They want to help folks. We got to have money to operate. Nobody likes the government to have to close down. But they were going to stretch it out, and Trump is growing weary because we got too many things to go on right now to concentrate on. In North Korea, though everybody's talking about Irma, North Korea, ladies and gentlemen, is still a major world threat. We talked the other